as you guys were expecting, the Browns, well, maybe you weren't expecting, but the Browns lost their game on Sun. I'm not even talking with the right microphone, am I? On Sunday, they lost, and so very unfortunate for the Browns, but we'll talk about it in just 1 second. As long as I can figure out, am I using the right microphone? I can't tell. I don't know if I am. Hopefully I am. Well, I guess we'll just go for it. But yeah, so we'll talk about that in just 1 second. Let me get my intro. I had it open, but all right, everyone. Welcome here to Browns Breakdowns. Uh, I should have gotten this out on Wednesday, but I was kind of busy on Wednesday, so I very much apologize for being late. But I'm getting back into the flow of things, just trying to get myself back to regular season stuff. So the Browns lost their game 16-17 against the Bengals on Sunday. Was a very unfortunate loss. I made a whole post game about it for the Fanatical Elves. So if you haven't watched that, you should go watch that. It's mostly the same thing as what I'm going to say here, but it was a disappointing loss. Unfortunate to see them lose in that kind of fashion of not just losing because they didn't get a field goal / extra point. So unfortunate game, but it was a very good showing. Very happy with what happened still. Regardless of the fact that we weren't able to win, I still think it was a great game. So, again, lost 17-16, but I'll talk about more in just 1 second. I'm like dying over here. So, first of all, let's just start with the Bengals stats as we always do. Oh, nope, I do not want the highlights. Please go back. I don't want to watch the highlights. Hold on. There we go. I clicked the highlights button on accident. So Joe Burrow, this is a fun thing, was only 14 for 23 for 113 yards and 1 touchdown. Great game from our defense. Really, really interesting and awesome to see there for the defense. You had Joe Burrow able to do next to nothing. Again, only 113 yards and 1 touchdown. So not a good game from him. Chase Brown was 21 for 43 and a touchdown in terms of rushing. Again, we were very good at limiting them on the rushing front as well. Just a great game overall from some of these things. So again, that was what Chase Brown did. And so he was decent, but I mean, it was interesting to see how well we were stopping him. And then wide receiver wise, T. Higgins 3 for 33. Noah Fant 4 for 26 and a touchdown, and then Ja'Marr Chase again touted as one of the best wide receivers in the league, and he probably is. We held to only 26 yards on 2 receptions, which was a great showing. Again, Ja'Marr Chase is touted and probably is, I will give that to him, probably is one of the best wide receivers. I'd say you could put him third, might even put him second, right? You got Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, maybe you want to put up there. And then Ja'Marr Chase. So he's second or third as best wide receiver. So yes, again, he was very good that game. Our defense, I mean, was very good that game. And Ja'Marr Chase only 2 for 26. So defensively, Jordan Battle had an interception. A sack came from DJ Hill and Trey Hendrickson. And then another interception, from DJ Turner the second. And we'll talk about those interceptions in a moment once we're done with the stats. So statistically wise, Joe Flacco actually had a great game. He was 31 for 45 with 290 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Again, the interceptions, we'll talk about that in a moment. Dylan Sampson, your running back, was actually decent. Now, it might not seem that way in the rushing stats. He was only 12 for 29 in terms of just outright running, but he was much better in the air. Jerry Jeudy was your leading receiver. Again, he had that whole drop and everything that happened. He was 5 for 66. Again, there you go. Dylan Sampson, 8 for 64. Harold Fannin, who had an amazing game as well, was very... I'm going to be interested in how he's going to continue to perform for the next few games. He was 7 for 63. Cedric Tillman, 5 for 52 and a touchdown. David Njoku finally comes up at the rear, 3 for 37. And again, Jerry Jeudy had that whole thing with the dropped pass and the interception. So we'll talk about that in a moment once we're done defensively. We were amazing. Myles Garrett had 2 sacks. He was a menace to Joe Burrow, and that one specific drive where he sacked him twice and we almost sacked him a third time and got a safety, that was amazing to watch. And then you had Isaiah McGuire also also had a sack. And then we had no interceptions, so 3 sacks. But I mean, yeah, that our defense was amazing, um, despite the stats maybe not being the most flashy. Then you get into the total yards. This is where you could see the discrepancy and how well we were playing compared to them. The Bengals only had 141 total yards of offense. I'm pretty sure we held them to like 6 yards in the second half or something absurd like that. We had 327 total yards. Again, huge discrepancy there of like, if we wanted to be perfectly even, that's like what, 100, 200-ish yards, or like 190, 180 in total of yards difference. So yes, again, huge difference between us and the Bengals. Passing yards, again, major difference, almost 170 yards worth of passing yard difference. We had 278. They only had 95. So big difference, right? I mean, that's about 170. If you want to do the math, it's 183, I believe. I think it's 183. Now I'm trying to... No, not 183, 170... So now I want to do the math. 183, I think, is the correct number. Yeah, I think it's 183. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to do the math in my head. Rushing yards, neither team was very good. Bengals only had 46. We only had 49, so much more even. But rushing that game wasn't amazing on either side. We had 2.9 yards per play, or the Bengals had 2.9 yards per play. We had 4.6. And then first downs, again, huge difference. We had 22 first downs. They only had 11. Third down efficiency for the Bengals was 7 for 14. For the Browns, it was 9 for 16. We were much better third down-wise in the second half. We were like 1 of 7 in the first half for third downs, so not great. Fourth down efficiency, we were 2 for 3. And again, here we look at another one, 22 difference. We had 71 total plays to their 49. It just was such a big difference between offensive things, and the fact that we weren't able to win was very, very disappointing to see that happen. And then not third down efficiency. Sacks allowed, Bengals 3, we allowed 2. Punts, we only had 2 punts. Only 2 punts is kind of crazy to the Bengals 6. Now penalties, both sides had the same amount, 7. We had 53 yards worth of penalties. They had 33. Penalties is something we need to work on. A few of those were false starts and holdings. I know DeJuan Jones had a few of those penalties. So again, just need to work on that. That's something we can work on, and is something we could fix. And I think it's something I assume DeJuan Jones got his fair share of. Here, just help. We'll work on this to try and fix your penalties. Penalties. God, I can't think. Turnovers. Bengals had 0 turnovers total. We had 2. It was the 2 interceptions. And then time of possessions, we were 35 minutes and 49 seconds. They were 24 minutes and 11 seconds. So again, lots of differences between these things. Very different across the board here. And so talking about the interceptions, because I know it's what people want to know about. The Browns' 2 interceptions came on the most crazy play. Basically, if you didn't see, which you probably can, just go watch the highlights. I think they appear in the highlights. You see Joe Flacco throw the ball, wide receiver isn't able to catch it, bounces into the air, defender makes a great, amazing play, and I'll give it to the defenders. That is a very on-the-ball, smart, quick, snappy decision to be able to figure out where the ball is and catch it like that. That's hard to do in the speed of the game, so impressive to them. But yeah, those happened twice. One I think was Cedric Tillman, and the other was obviously Jerry Jeudy, who had a bad game. I think he had 3 drops. Jerry Jeudy did. If he didn't have 3, it was 2. But just unfortunate. Now Joe Flacco was partially responsible. I won't say he was fully responsible, but a little bit of responsibility falls on Joe Flacco. Those balls, I think the Jerry Jeudy one was just his fault. Jerry Jeudy fell on the could have caught that, should have caught that, and somehow missed it, and it got tossed into the air. The other one wasn't specifically fully on Cedric Tillman, if that was him. It was a throw where it was close, and it just wasn't perfectly on target, and obviously resulted in that. So it wasn't fully his fault, but it mostly was his fault. And if you look at, now, I'm not going to be digging on them too much. I will cut them some slack because as you look to the entire NFL, actually, the whole NFL was unable to catch the football this week. I mean, you saw CeeDee Lamb drop the ball, right? Now, that was a hard ball to catch, but you saw CeeDee Lamb dropping the ball. I saw people in the Bills game dropping the ball. I saw people in the Broncos game dropping the ball. I saw so many drops throughout this week. It was super weird, and I'm not sure totally what was going on, but no one could catch. I saw so many drops that week, and so I won't totally blame it on just our receivers in particular. It is obviously something you need to work on and something we need to fix and instruct our people, hey, do this. But no, it was a bad week for receivers. No one could catch. It seemed like there were just drops galore. Every single game seemed to have just drops. I don't know about all the games. Like, I wasn't paying attention to every single one, all 16 games. I wasn't watching all of them. So maybe the Falcons and Buccaneers didn't have a drop. I don't know. But because I didn't watch them all. But it was a very bad week for receivers in the NFL. So again, this should get better as the season goes on, as the receivers play more and more and more. But yes, it was a very bad week for receivers, so I won't cut them. I won't completely blame them all. The blame still falls on them. I'm not taking away from the blame. I'm just saying that it was a bad week for receivers, and so it seemed that everyone was dealing with this problem, not just our wide receivers, such as CeeDee Lamb and Cedric Tillman. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. It still is inexcusable because you're a wide receiver. Your job is literally to catch the football. It still is inexcusable to not be able to catch the football. And so looking at it, it still needs to be worked on. Hopefully both the wide receivers looked at it and said, all right, we need to fix this and we need to do this to work on this. So I mean, obviously it was their fault, and I'm not taking away from that, but I do think that this was a week of an NFL-wide problem, not just specifically the Browns. It just was compounded for us because they intercepted the ball on the tip. So that's what I'm trying to say. And now kicker. I mean, kicker, obviously. Actually, let's talk about kicker in just 1 second. Let's do that, and let's do our advertisements. So we will be right back and talking about the kicker after these ends. And we're back on the Browns breakdowns. Proud partners of Fanatical Elves. They're up. How do I do this? Up. Wow, this is hard. I'm trying to get it. Come on. Way up here. Yeah, there you go. See, there they are. Right there. These guys right here. Okay. Now I just look stupid. I'm all done. But you see them. Those guys. Fanatical Elves Network. And also, don't forget our favorite people, Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. Yes, right here. That's a bit easier. If you use that referral code, see my finger right there. Boop, boop, boop. Right there. If you put that in when you buy something, we get 15% of what you spend. So thank you to Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. Great coffee. Some of the best you'll drink. Maybe you need that coffee to drown out your sorrows from the last Browns game. So who knows? Maybe they have like sorrow-killing coffee. I don't know, but greatest coffee. We love them. So thank you to them for sponsoring us. And again, now kickers. Kicking was interesting this game because again we missed those two. I keep saying again, but we missed those two. We had, what was it? The missed extra point and then the missed field goal, which ultimately obviously lost us the game, right? Not being able to kick that three-pointer lost us the game. Now, you can't really accurately predict what would have happened. Maybe the Bengals would have felt more under threat, did something here, and they still would have scored and we would have lost. You can't accurately predict that. But just going off what we have, if we had made that 3-point field goal, we would have won the game. So, and we would have won it less confidently than we should have with the statistics we were putting up, but we would have won. And so it's going to be interesting to see what the Browns do for the next few weeks for kicker, who they pick up, if anyone. Oh, goodness. I don't know what's up with me. I drank some of that Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. I drank the Sleepy Coffee. I don't actually know if they have that, but you should buy it, maybe, to put yourself to sleep when the Browns lose in a tragedy. But, yeah, looking at it, it just is unfortunate to lose that kind of way, you know. Missed the extra point, would have tied it, sent it to overtime. Missed the field goal, would have won us the game. So it's just a very unfortunate to see. I don't know what the Browns' response is going to be. I mean, I think you have to figure it out quickly, though, because if that happens again, then you've got a big problem. So hopefully the Browns look into this and figure it out more, because it's just super important, right? Kickers are very important. Kickers have become more and more important as well in this modern NFL, where you've got kickers kicking 70-yard field goals, right? Just huge kicks. And so kickers are more and more important as we go. And I mean, if you get down to the 40-yard line, right, and you stall out, you want to be able to, now maybe the 40 is a bit far, maybe let's say the 30. You want to be able to trust and put your hope in your kicker to be able to get you those 3 points and keep you in a game. And so not being able to have that kind of person to rely on is very detrimental to your team, because it can cause a lot of problems going on. So again, hopefully the Browns figure out this kicker problem and figure it out quickly, because I don't need another game where we lose only because our kicker couldn't make a field goal. That wasn't even a far field goal. It was actually quite close. He just missed. And so hopefully the Browns work on this and figure something out, whether that be training him day in and day out and keeping him around to let him play more, or whether it's something else, such as picking up an old guy, maybe like a Matt Prater, right? I mean, Matt Prater won the Bills the game, and he's hailed as a hero in Buffalo. So maybe you get someone like that who's like 55 years old. And so it's just an important piece, especially if he's going to miss extra points too. Like, you can't miss those. Those need to be made every single time, regardless of who you are. Those are easy. They are low risk, low effort. I mean, it's something you should be doing over and over and over and over and over, 100%. Now, if you miss one or two here and there, like 2 a season, that's fine. That happens, right? You're a human. You make a mistake, lose your footing, don't kick right. It's fine. But if you miss them more than once or twice a year, you have to work on that, because that is a crucial part of the game as well, those 7 points. So kicker, just unfortunate, but yes. So Browns lost. It just was a really unfortunate game. I guess I'll put my thing up there, though I'm not leaving for another minute or so. But yeah, just ultimately, final thoughts, I guess you'd put it. Difficult game. Really sucks to see something like that happen, where we had such a good statistical game and just couldn't get it done. And I mean, looking at it, I'm really excited for this team. I think if we can continue to do what we just did here against the Bengals, who, like I said, in the post-game show I did on Sunday, is one of the best on-paper offenses coming into the season in the league, right? Like, this year, they were touted as one of the best on-paper offenses in the league. And being able to hold them to 140 total yards, locking down Jamar Chase to under 30 yards, is a very, very, very good achievement that I'm very excited to see if they can continue to do this throughout the season. So, this is just a bad game. It happens. And again, the offense looked great too. Like, Harold Fannin looked good. Sampson looked good. Flacco looked good. The wide receivers need some work. Yes, that's obvious with drops and everything, but that can be worked on and will probably get flushed out as we go through the season. So I'm excited for this team. I don't know if we're going to beat the Ravens. I'll talk about that Saturday, but it's going to be a interesting season. Whether the Browns surprise everyone and have another like 11 win game season, like we did a few years ago, make the playoffs, or if we suck and we only win 5 games this year, it will be a very interesting season. And I think this is just a bump in the road Hopefully the players take it that way as well. Just take it as, oh, hey, we lost. That isn't affecting this Ravens game. Let's come in here. Let's play the Ravens, who probably are pretty demoralized after last week. I know moral is kind of a whole iffy thing. Does it exist? Does it not? I think it does somewhat. I think if you lose a hard game like that, where you were up 15 points, it does affect you. It just doesn't affect it as much as some people might think. But no, I think coming into this Ravens game, the team needs to push that loss as far away as possible. And we need to come into this as it's a clean slate. We cleared the chalkboard. Let's get up there. Let's fight as hard as we can, and let's win this game, right? We just proved that we're one of the best. We just proved that we have an amazing team that just stifled one of the best offenses in the league on paper. And yes, we didn't beat up what was looking like one of the worst defenses in the league, but who knows what would have happened if those 2 interceptions didn't get dropped. You might have had 2 more touchdowns, right? You had those 14 points. You're already at 31 points, assuming you hit the extra point on the other touchdown, right? Like, you're looking at 31 points. If you get the 3, you're at 34. So even if you only get 1 touchdown, you're at 27. That's 27-17. That's a 2-score victory. Come on, let's be happy here. So I think the players know, let's push this game away. It was a hard loss. It sucks, but let's come into next week, take this momentum we're building here, seeing what we just did to this team who was on paper very good, and let's put this against the Ravens, who just had a really, really, really hard loss. See if we can't exploit that. That's just my opinion. Is that what they're going to do? I don't know, but we'll talk about it more Saturdays. I hope you all enjoyed this other post game that I should have released on Thursday, or Friday, but I messed up, so I apologize about that. I should have my next post game on wow, just named every day. Should have my next post game on Wednesday. That's the hope. So I love you all, and I hope everyone enjoyed the Browns game despite the loss. Hard loss, 17-16. Bengals take the win. So let's go and beat up the Ravens, preferably. Maybe make Derrick Henry fumble again. That would be pretty cool. So I love you all, and I'll talk to you guys on Saturday. Peace.